and welcome to MoonMistJourneys. My name is Carly, and I'm here today to talk to you guys a little bit about the subject of soul fragmentation and soul retrieval. Soul fragmentation is a result of trauma where an aspect of our soul actually separates off from the soul to go somewhere other than the self, because that aspect no longer feels safe where it is. To truly understand this, we first need to have an understanding of what a soul actually is. The soul is not just a singular thing, but more like an energetic signature made up of many, many individual aspects or parts that the Creator uniquely grouped together to create you, your soul. The analogy I'm being told to use is to compare our soul to a song, and this song is a unique combination of notes. A singular note won't create a story, an experience, or a memory, but when grouped with other notes, becomes a song, something that can be experienced, felt, and even tells its own story. That is what our souls are, a unique combination of notes or aspects that are grouped together to create a unique song, a unique expression that can be felt, recognized, and experienced. A soul fragmentation is when one of these notes or aspects of self is broken off from the song that is your soul, and this occurs as a result of trauma, either emotional or physical. The notes, the soul parts, are like individual snapshots of what makes us, us, our experiences, or our memories. And as you may know, time is an illusion, so everything we have experienced is actually happening now, even though we don't perceive it that way, and is taking place in the song that is the soul. So if during your childhood you were traumatized, you were scared, a snapshot of you at that moment may have ran away from your soul and vessel because it felt that it wasn't safe. This was a protection mechanism. So now, this child aspect of you, the note that left the song, is still existing in the now moment, but not home in your soul and your vessel. The song is missing a note. Now, you may be wondering, where does the soul aspect go when it leaves? When a soul aspect is no longer existing as part of its whole, it is free from the restraints and limitations of its vessel. This means that this soul aspect is free to roam the spirit realm, which consists of many different dimensions, unlimited and varied places exist in the spiritual plane. The shaman, whose perspective I will share here because it's the one I most understand, is taught that these realms can be grouped into 3 worlds for the sake of understanding. Either the lower world, usually consisting of plant and animal spirits, I also like to think of it as the underworld, the middle world, which is the spiritual realm of our physical reality, and the upper world, or in other words, higher vibrational dimensions than of our physical one. So when souls fragment, they are free to travel amongst these dimensions. Since the aspect is on its own, it typically lacks understanding of anything other than the snapshot of what they were at the moment of separation. So, for example, a 5-year-old child experiences a trauma that causes it to fragment. That fragment is now off in another dimensional reality, aware of nothing other than what it knew to be true at that moment of separation. It is still that scared 5-year-old. This is why it's usually necessary for these aspects to be found and retrieved. Same as we wouldn't expect a 5-year-old child to be able to find their way home all on their own. So when we experience a soul fragmentation, our song doesn't sound quite right. We can't function at our full capacity. When we lose a soul aspect, we become sick, mentally or physically. The physical or psychological manifestation of illness is usually some way in relation to the trauma that took place when the soul fragmented, or the dimension that the soul aspect chose to hide in or is stuck in. Soul parts can hide, can be stolen, they can be choosing to hide, or they could become trapped. This is why different methods of healing can work for different individuals. Sometimes an inner child aspect who got angry or upset and chose to leave will feel safe enough to return home once the person learns of them, acknowledges them, and internally cultivates an environment that the inner child feels safe enough to come back home to. In turn, they mend, they heal. Sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes these fragmented soul parts go too far in a dimension that they shouldn't be in. They get lost in or get trapped in this dimension and must be rescued or brought back with assistance from spirit or spirit practitioners, healers, workers here on earth who can have one foot on the earth and another foot in the spiritual realm. This is where soul retrieval may be needed. When, on behalf of a person, the practitioner, who, as I said, has the ability to walk between worlds, becomes a bridge. The practitioner can search out, find, and bring back a lost soul aspect back home to the soul and the vessel, therefore mending the soul, repairing the song by bringing back its missing note or notes. When the soul is healed, the song can play. The physical body is also healed. Now, every form of therapy that exists is actually just a means of repairing our soul that has fragmented. Actually, let me correct myself. Every natural therapy is a means of repairing our soul. This is why a chemical medicine will never induce actual healing. A pill cannot repair a soul. Healing, in any form, is mending of the soul. There are many methods to achieve healing a soul, but sometimes, as I said, certain methods will not work because a soul aspect went too far, got lost, got trapped, or just requires a particular or specific type of assistance to bring it home. This is why often things like talk therapy can really only go so far. You can only talk with the parts of you that are present. You can't sit in a room and talk to a soul part that is lost in another dimension. And that's why a practitioner who can work within the spirit realm is often needed, as in the case of a shamanic practitioner who performs the soul retrieval, who can go directly to the lost aspect, figure out what it requires to come home, and escort it back to the person, creating an instant mending, which in turn produces healing. From a shamanic perspective, all sickness is homesickness, and a soul retrieval brings our lost souls home. If you found this information to be helpful or insightful in any way, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to show your support and for more videos like this one, as well as other types of messages, readings, channelings, and healings that I offer through this channel. I also offer personal services, which does include soul retrievals, as well as soul retrieval virtual sessions, which you may inquire about through my email, which I will have in the description box below. I also have my PayPal and Venmo in the description box if you feel guided to support my channel in that way. Donations are always greatly appreciated, and whoever donates, I include your name in a daily prayer where I call in protection, healing, and light code activations for you. I want to thank you all for your continued support, and as always, I wish you many, many blessings, and until next time, take care.